It's Mission Impossible Day, and I'm excited to see Fallout. Partly because, yeah, I enjoy the franchise and I can't wait to see where it goes, but mostly because this is the movie where they would not let Henry Cavill shave off his mustache and we had Mustache Gate for Justice League. So is it worth it that he didn't shave? Let's check this out. Welcome to Durbania, I'm Durbin, and this is my spoiler-free review for Mission Impossible Fallout. This is the movie where Paramount would not let Henry Cavill shave off his mustache for Superman and the Justice League. So was it worth the weird upper lip? Was it worth Mustache Gate? Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Yeah, actually, it kind of was. Henry Cavill was fantastic in this movie. I thought he actually fit his role perfectly, and he fit the feel of this movie and what this movie needed perfectly. He added to the action. Like, the dude is a good fighter, man. I would not want to be in his way when he's throwing a punch. That would hurt. And he added to the intensity. So he added to the action, he added to the intensity. He did a good job. No part of his performance made me, like, disbelieve him or pull me out of it. Yeah, a couple places where it's like, you know, I hear Superman's voice or whatever, but who cares? I mean, it's Henry Cavill. So he did a really great job, and I think he did exactly what the script called for, and he brought exactly what this film needed, so I thought he was great. And Henry Cavill is one of many things in this movie that I thought was great. I thought overall, Mission Impossible Fallout was a fantastic movie. And that's really cool because it's like the longest one, I think. It's like 2.5 hours long. This is not a short movie. But while I was watching it, it didn't feel like it was 2.5 hours long because it was just so action heavy and a really good story, action heavy, and it just kept going one thing after the other. So I didn't feel bored at any given point. Now, my wife Laura said she felt it was kind of slow in the beginning, but isn't that all Mission Impossible movies, you know, where you've got to take that time and set things up? But from my point of view, yeah, the beginning was the slower part, but to me, it still wasn't slow. So I feel like this whole thing was pretty high-paced beginning to end, so it didn't feel like it was a 2.5 hour movie, but I walked out of the theater and looked at my watch and went, oh my gosh! Yeah, that's a long one. And they had a lot of fun with, like, the characters in this one, so it was cool to see Luther come back. I love Luther. He's been in every single one of the Mission Impossible movies, so I was so happy to see him come back, and fantastic job, fantastic use of his character. Same thing with Benji. Oh, and they brought back Julia, and that was really cool. Tom Cruise's wife from the third one, and they answered so many questions about, like, what's been going on between them since then and all that stuff, and they really made good use of her character. Like, it just wasn't there to be there or there as a cameo or whatever. They actually made good use of her character, and I really appreciated that. The return of Rebecca Ferguson, same deal. Great use of her character. What was really cool with Ethan Hunt in this one is they put him in these moral dilemmas. Choose this little good or the greater good.
You had a terrible choice to make in Berlin. One life over millions. And now the world is at risk.
So it's really cool to see him be thrown in that moral dilemma. He's going to choose his personal thing because he's got backup plans for his backup plans, or at least really good improvisation skills. But it was just really interesting to watch the gears turn in his head when they would put him in these moral situations and he'd be confronted with that. The greater good or this good? How can I get both? There was something a little similar to that they did with Solomon Lane, where, you know, he had his personal vendetta, but he had his master plan, but, you know, he kept trying to work it so he could get both. So, you know, you have Ethan Hunt and the anti-Ethan Hunt, so it was kind of interesting to see how they played that. But mostly it was just interesting to see Ethan and how they played with that with him, and it made him look like a hero. They did a good job building up his hero persona and making you like this guy even more. I mean, I always liked Ethan Hunt and all the rest of them, but like this one did a really good job in showing me like that hero side of him. So I really enjoyed that personally. I mean, if I had to pick some negatives, I don't know. Like, that's really kind of hard. I mean, it's 2.5 hours long. That might be a negative for some people. Like I said, for me, it was very fast-paced, and I was engaged the whole way through. So while watching it, it didn't really feel that long to me. Maybe a couple places where it's predictable because, you know, it's Ethan Hunt and it's Mission Impossible, so they definitely have some Mission Impossible tropes in there. You know, Ethan Hunt and his plans and his backup plans and all that stuff. So there's like a few things that are predictable, but they did a really good job with the tension. So even if you felt like you're watching a scene and it's like, well, I know Ethan's going to come through. Somehow he's got a plan here, and you might be right. Like, that's the kind of the point where it's a little predictable, but at the same time, it's really intense because they do a really good job of, well, what is he going to do? How is he going to get out of this? How is he going to accomplish this? And they had a lot of fun with that in this movie. Ethan, you have to get this. How are you going to do it? I don't know. figure it out. It's a lot of really fun moments where they play with that. I think in the end, I'm giving this movie an A-. I found it highly entertaining. The action was incredibly good. Yeah, some of it was stupid and unbelievable, but why am I even bringing that up? It's Mission Impossible. All of them have stupid action scenes that are slightly unbelievable, and do we care? Are we seeing the Mission Impossible for, like, solid reality? No. We're seeing it for intensity. We're seeing it for action. We're seeing it to watch Ethan Hunt try to beat up bad guys. It's awesome. So if you're looking for something that's incredibly action-packed this weekend, that's a lot of fun, that's high-paced, I think Mission Impossible Fallout is that movie. I really enjoyed it. I had a blast with it. I know for a fact I'm going to get it on Blu-ray when it comes out. And if I get the opportunity to see it on the big screen again, I'm taking it. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I really enjoyed it. What did you think, though, if you saw it? Be sure to let me know in the comments. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian and hit the bell by the subscribe button. That way you're notified for the next movie review I do, the next theological analysis I drop, my ranking video where I'm going to rank all 6 Mission Impossible movies, worst to best, dropping later in the week. Hit that bell so you're notified when those videos drop. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.